Those are like post-apocalyptic wood elves that hide from the apocalypse in the wood. Except there are no actual nations here. This is all just uncolonized. And they're not exactly populous. I'm guessing that one of these guys probably do just get a mission to... or not a mission, but a decision that allows them to get in there. I don't know. Curious. Oh, these are wood elves. Ah, okay. So, in fact, let's take a look at this. So, we've got Arakpan here. I remember fighting against them as Zuzu Mexia when I did my Kobold colonizers. But yeah, they are Ruinborn. I mean, I guess they were Ruinborn. But they just didn't have the same glade mechanics as Sinvar does, for example. Alright, that's them. Elizna, we already briefly talked about. Wait, no we didn't. No we didn't, we just saw they were at war. That's what happened. So we do have a player in Elizna down here. So Elizna and Sariand at the moment look to be allied. I do kind of wonder if that's just going to be forming another power block over here. But Elizna... Huzzah! I think are another... Diplomatic relations, cost of advisors of culture, leader upkeep, prestige, land lever maneuver, land fire, unrest, tax, advisors, tech costs, spine network. So they don't look that massively interesting. Are they elves? Are they humans? They're also elves. So similar to Sariant, are they Sun Cult? Yes, they are. Right, Sun Cult is not Jad. Jad is something else. Jad's over here. So these are basically the guys holding out against the Jad. Crusades, I guess. Hayden, thank you very much for gifting subs. Very much appreciate that. Sandman the Sleepy and Thunderchan, congratulations on the gifted subs courtesy of Hayden. Thank you very much for that. And Sindrin showing the generosity today as well. The Wall 225, congrats on the gift sub courtesy of Sindrin. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for this. Hi, Hayden. That Alntir Glade will have special connection to the Escan Glade, something to look out for. Oh, okay. Oh, I think I know what that is, actually. I did see that there's a weird province right here. And I'm guessing that this is some kind of teleporter to here. That's my guess. I don't know for sure, I've never played as the elves. And the closest I would ever come to playing as the elves is playing as the Timber Dwarves to cut down all the elves. Okay, we'll keep an eye on that. That's interesting. Who else do we have? We have a dwarf! The company of Duran Blueshield being played by Tanya. And they are the Cavalry Dwarves, which I've been told Tanya is playing as to prove to me that Cavalry Dwarves are possible. I'm sure they're possible. They're not going to be as cool as the Science Dwarves up there, although the Science Dwarves are also kind of boring. But these are the Ram Dwarves. They ride their Ram Cavalry. At the moment, not using any, so purely infantry based, but I'm sure the Rams will emerge later on, possibly when they start getting some of their... Oh, it's because you're still Duran. That's why. Once you actually adopt the new nation, which is Orzan Azdir, which requires admin level 7, currently at admin level 6, so getting fairly close. Within the next 5 to 6 years, I reckon we'll have Ovdil Azdir set up here, and then we'll start seeing the Ram Dwarves rousing themselves. Next up, we have got Rubenair. Rubenair being one of the wannabe Lorent nations. As soon as I remember where they are. There they are. Rubenair being these guys. They are one of the Wine Lords. That's one cost down there. Lorent, Madelaire, Duran, Wineport. I'm a little bit surprised that nobody's playing as Wineport. I think that having a Wineport, a Neckcliff, an Ambencost, a Vern and an Eberthil would have been really interesting. That would have been some serious trade rivalry down here. But they are currently playing as Rubenair. Rubenair, like I said, basically mini Lorent. Trade efficiency, Diplo relations, goods produced. And this is being played by Torshin, who was Jad last time. Cavalry cost, cavalry combat ability, diplomatic reputation, yearly legitimacy, production efficiency, national manpower, national tax, tech, and then domestic trade power. And the other thing I should mention is we are actually playing with a modified idea set. So, looking here already, Torsion, usually a pretty meta player, did not go quantity first, went innovative, which is the kind of choice I would make, but not necessarily something that a meta player would make. But the ideas have been changed and rebalanced, so going quantity economic is no longer just like the de facto choice, and we should see some far more interesting player builds going on here, which we're going to have to look at, because I'm very curious about that. After Rubenair, we have got Vajejiv, being played by Vikes. Zajejev is the Riverlords, or the Lake Federation, sorry, not Riverlords. Lake Fed, which is up here. And you are the green Lake Fed. So the Lake Federation are an interesting group because in some ways they are a united front present against the Centaurs and the Ogres, and it is really their job to kind of hold the line against the monstrous nations, but on the other hand, they also hate each other and are constantly fighting, as is in fact happening right now. And apparently having a unified Lake Federation is really, really powerful. Now, Lake Federation can in fact sail out. I think that Lake Federation is an interesting concept. But while fake China doesn't exist, I'm just not that interested in myself to like do a playthrough as them. But once all of this is properly populated, I think the Lake Federation will be a really, really interesting one. Because then they really will be the bulwark against the Centaurs and the Ogres pushing into China. So very curious about them. I don't think they really have like a historical equivalent. If they do, let me know. Like, what would the historical equivalent of the Lake Fed be? Slurfen, thank you very much for the generous gift subs. Very much appreciate that.
Huzzah!
Sheer Pornich, the Tartanator, Ecthelian, the Monster, and Frog. Congratulations on the gifted subs, courtesy of Slurfen. Very much appreciate that, Slurfen. Thank you. Jad is like a reformed version of the Sun Cult. OG Sun Cult is heavily in favour of the elves, and the Jad is more egalitarian. Well, the Jad's not egalitarian. The Jad's everyone must worship us or else. Whereas Sun Cult is more, yeah, elves are awesome.
Huzzah!
At least that's the impression I've got from having played against that last time. The gift sub war continues. Who will come out on top? I don't know, but they have weirdly Finnish names. Yikashle. Merkif. Actually, yes, I can see what you mean. Bozkupaya. Mizaktok. Lanhushta. Kushka. Yeah, okay, I can see that. So maybe these would be like the Karelian Finns? Facing off against the steppe hordes. So Russia and fake China. Not sure what the relation with fake China will be. Looks like there are going to be some interesting choke points along this. And then there's another mountain range here with currently nothing in it. I do kind of wonder if that's going to see another Dwarven realm over here. And I believe that one of these,
Huzzah!
if the dwarves get them back, is actually boat dwarves. Really, really difficult to re-establish, but it is possible.
Huzzah!
Although the boat dwarves will, of course, always be of Dultunga, which are still here. They haven't been killed yet. Huzzah! Kalinicus gifted a sub to... wow, multiple people. In fact, so did Sindrin. Sindrin gifted a sub to Fractured Toad. And then Kalinicus to Ampson, Dilnai, Tanhouse, Relaeus, and Texas. Aggie in Kansas. Wow, that is a hard name to pass. Yeah, Texas, Aggie, and Kansas. Congratulations on the gifted subs, courtesy of Kalinicus. Thank you very much, all of you, for the gifted subs. This is incredibly generous. Thank you. And this is, of course, September, so all the subs at the moment are 20% cheaper. Is it 20% or is it 10%? I always get the numbers wrong. They're cheaper either way.
Huzzah!
Lake Fed are different people that formed a federation. They're inspired by Finnish people Turkish people, Mongolian. That formed a more Russian federation. Huh, cool. Yeah, like I said, I know very little about the Lake Fed in this. Maybe the unsettled mountains where the greenskins were born. Possibly.
Huzzah!
I kind of got the impression the greenskins were just from like deeper within the mountain, though. I could be wrong about that. Slurfen gifted subs to Silverarchon. Silverarchon. Zanero. I'm going to need to expand my chat window. This is really difficult to pass all the names. There we go. Action. Snarky J and Frenrir. Congratulations on the gifted subs, courtesy of Slurfen. Very much appreciate that. Cav Dwarves are in the North Servant Spine. No, I'm pretty sure that these are the Cav Dwarves. 100% sure that these are the Cav Dwarves. They're the ram ones of Delazdir. And I know this because I just played a game up in the Science Dwarves and they were my neighbour. Sephrael, congratulations on the gifted sub courtesy of Kalinicus. Thank you very much for that, Kalinicus. It is 20%. Thank you. Can I steal a moment of your time and ask to advertise a certain community multiplayer Kaiserreich game that is in the works? Yes! So if you are enjoying this multiplayer game so far and want to be involved in something similar, we are in the process of organising a Hearts of Iron 4 multiplayer game of Kaiserreich, which is going to be happening in the next few weeks. You should head over to our Discord. If someone could put a link to the Discord, that would be awesome, because sign-ups are still active. And I believe that there may still be sign-ups for this. You can basically be seeded to either the New World or to India or something like that if you want to play in the Anbennar game, although like it has been going for 2 sessions already. This is the 2nd session, so it might be a little bit more difficult, but there might still be slots. But yeah, if you are interested in taking part in any of these community games, I don't stream all of them, but there is a lot going on behind the scenes. If you like multiplayer, if you want to get involved in multiplayer, then my Modernizers, the organisers of my multiplayer games, do an absolutely fantastic job of putting these together, which is a huge burden off of my shoulders, so thank you guys for doing this.
Huzzah!
Can you get the hype train to level 6? I mean, if you complete a level 5, I guess that's technically a level 6, but it doesn't actually say level 6, it just says you've completed a level 5. What makes the Science Dwarves boring? They just don't have a mission tree. So it's just very, very generic. Once they do, I think they'll be a lot more interesting, because then they'll have this kind of weird mix of being outdoor dwarves, because all of this is open and available, and then being in the mountains, although they'll actually be somewhat limited by how much they can expand in the mountains, because they get blocked by the Cav Dwarves. Sindrin gifted a sub to Scruff. Congratulations on the gifted sub, courtesy of Sindrin. Thank you for that, everyone. Very much appreciate it. The Northern Wind, what are you? I'm guessing centaurs. Definitely centaurs. Yep, plain centaur. Didn't realise they went that far north. Interesting. Anyway, right, we said that we were going to take a look at the different idea groups, so starting again from the top, we've got Malknar that's gone Strategic Ideas, and Strategic Ideas has Infantry Combat Ability plus 15%, Yearly Army Tradition plus 0.5, Yearly Naval Tradition plus 1, Artillery Combat Ability plus 10, Separatism minus 5, National Manpower plus 15, Siege Ability plus 15, Leaders without Upkeep plus 1, War Tax Cost minus 50, and then Advisor Cost minus 15%, Cost to Fabricate Claims minus 20%, Possible Condottieri plus 50, and Movement Speed plus 15. That's a cool idea group. Oh, that's very, very interesting. Okay. Next up, we have got Mag Armor, who hasn't got any ideas yet. Then we've got Anben Cost going with Economic. Economic Ideas now having Production Efficiency plus 10, National Tax Modifier plus 10, Construction minus 10, Yearly Inflation plus 0.1, Interest per annum minus 0.5, Governing Capacity plus 15, that's an interesting addition, Ship Cost minus 10, Regiment Costs minus 10, Yearly Tax Income plus 50, just a straight 50. That's going to be really good early on, but become less and less powerful as the game goes on, then a Dev Cost of minus 10. And with that income boost, Yeah, his tax income is really decent. And Anbennar cost, usually so reliant on trade, is going to be earning quite a lot from taxes as well because of that idea. Another interesting one. Like, actually, that guy and everyone else who was involved in sorting out these idea costs. I'm liking this. Noble Academia. So we got the Noble Knights, cavalry cost -10, cavalry combat ability +10, cavalry to infantry ratio +20, yearly army tradition DK -1, naval tradition DK -1, shock +7.5. So that's not just cavalry shock, that's everyone's shock. Miltech -10, reinforce -10. I did miss Gebird, you're right. I will check them out in a minute. Reinforced speed +15%. Leaders without upkeep +1, and then the capstone is national manpower +20. So they are going to be very good for the cavalry forces, obviously. I like the addition of shock. So centaurs with Noble Academia would be pretty terrifying. And in fact, the Sons of Demaria, are these the Lorentish adventurers? No, they're not. Because I know that one of the adventurers is basically Lorentish adventurers, and their entire thing is about resurrecting Adian, or making sure that Andean is awesome. And I have a feeling it might actually be these guys. Or at least whoever it is that they evolve into, because they're still an adventurer group. Okay, Gebird. These are the other gnomes. They're in fact 2 Gnomish players, and wow, Gebird has really expanded already. They started as a 1-province minor, and they're already 5-6 provinces now. That is really good for Gebird. I almost always see them just remain an OPM and just do nothing else. They have a human minority, a dwarven minority, and also gnomes. So humans, dwarves, and gnomes working together hand in hand. Probably because Silverforge is right next door to them. That does make a lot of sense. Gebird having gone innovative, which we'll take a look at in a minute, and then they should be pretty dominant in terms of technology, as gnomes are like to do. And these are the Imperial Gnomes. They are the ones who are within the Empire, as opposed to Nimsgard, who are not. So innovative ideas, what do they get? Prestige decay -1, idea cost -5, tech cost -10, institution embracement cost -10, and then innovativeness gain +100. I feel like the innovative gain +100 is going to be too high. Manpower, mercenary manpower +25, institution spread +25, monthly war exhaustion -0.3, leaders without upkeep, and then the capstone is 15% advisor cost. That's down from 33%, which is probably a good change. Like, the innovative idea advisor cost thing is ludicrously strong. This does feel a little bit more balanced. Probably empowered by this one in particular. The tech cost, the institution embracement cost, and the innovativeness gain. Combined with the institution spread means that these guys should pretty much always be at the cutting edge of technological innovation. So Conwell's also gone strategic. Sarandar has gone quantity, which is national manpower +30, manpower recovery +20, mercenary cost -20, regiment cost -10, land maintenance -5, national supply limit +50, garrison size +25, land attrition -10, and then the capstone is a 40% land force limit modifier and a 20% naval force limit modifier. I still feel like 40% force limits is probably too high. I think I would probably have made that 25 and 25. I like that they've brought in the naval force limit as a modifier on that. And I'm guessing the policies have changed as well. Yeah, the policies have definitely changed. That's something we'll take a look at when we actually see more combinations going on. All of the played nations have a mission tree. One of the requirements for choosing a nation in this is that you have a mission tree. And there are a couple of special rules that we are playing with. The most important is everyone has to have a mission tree. The second one is you are not allowed to expand outside of your mission tree until your mission tree is complete. So if you are playing a Vern and you've just fancy conquering Wex, you can't do it unless your mission tree says you can conquer Wex, which is why there are a couple of question marks about Sariand, because Sariand basically has a you can conquer whatever the hell you want mission. And Sariand does already seem to be expanding incredibly quickly, possibly as a part of that. And in fact, expansion in this area just seems to be too easy. I saw it with Jad. We're seeing it now with Sariand. Needs a bit more competition. Trying to remember what other rules there are. There are various rules about great powers. Like if you're a great power, there are pretty stringent rules on who you can ally with. So last time when I was playing as Lorent, I could have a grand total of 1 player ally throughout the entire freaking game. So I was allied to Nimscod and Nimscod alone. I understand why this is done. It's because of balance. You don't want the great powers allying with each other, which is another thing they can't do. But it did mean that I basically had 0 diplomatic action whatsoever because I was stuck with my 1 ally. So I see why it's there, but also I don't think it's the best choice. It's the best option. Well, that's not... No. Start that again. It's the best of a bad circumstance. Let's put it that way. Because I really don't know what there would be which is any better than that. The other rule, which is one that I do really like, is restrictions on which ideas you can get. So you can't just go military, 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 military. You have to go military, admin, diplo in any order. And then military, admin, diplo in any order. And then the last 2 can be whatever you want. So you have to have that balanced 2 military, 2 diplo, 2 admin, and then 2 miscellaneous. Throughout your entire idea thing. Because otherwise in multiplayer games what you get is like economic, military, military, economic, military, military, economic, military, military. And it just gets a bit ridiculous, so this kind of forces a bit more versatility with people's choices, which is again another really good thing. We saw that. We've seen innovative, you don't have one. Quantity, exploration, here we go. So, Quest for the Elven allows recruitment of explorers and conquistadors, +1 colonist, colonial range +50, global settler increase +30, that is an upgrade, I believe. Merchants +1, and global trade power. Oh, that's an interesting one to put in exploration, I like that. Monthly autonomy change, and aggressive expansion impact -20, so you can be a bit more expansionist, +2 colonists. Woof, okay. And then they can fabricate claims on overseas colonial regions. So exploration is incredibly strong for the colonial game. Is there still an expansion? No, they got rid of expansion completely by the look of things. So if you want to do colonization, you pretty much got to take exploration ideas for those 3 colonists from doing that. Interesting, okay. Who was that? That was Ebethil. Quantity defensive. Here's another one. So the Rabegdkur has gone defensive, which is +1 yearly army tradition, +15% morale of armies, +1 leader maneuver, -5 land maintenance, +20% fort defense, -15 maintenance, +20% reinforced speed, fire damage received and shock damage received -5. Oh, that's nice. And then army drill gain modifier +33 and regiment drill loss -10. Defensive ideas with gnomes and with dwarves would be amazing, especially with the gnomes. That army drill gain modifier plus the artificers who have a malus to drill usually would be a very, very nice combination. So gnomes are defensive, look out for that. Lovdell Kanzad's gone strategic. I do really like the strategic ideas. There are more interesting offensive idea set basically. Then quantity and exploration. Exploration quality. Here's another one. So quality is infantry combat ability +10, yearly army tradition +1, cavalry combat +15, ship durability +5, morale of navies +10, artillery combat +10, yearly army professionalism. Ah, interesting. And then the capstone is discipline of +3. So the discipline buff has been reduced. They've got less naval buffs with more military adjacent bonuses like the yearly army tradition, the professionalism, and also I like the cavalry combat +15%. I think that means that we will see more cavalry in these games because they have been buffed. This is indeed multiplayer, yes, this is a commentary of the Anbennar multiplayer, which I'm being relatively quiet on in terms of expansion because there are no player wars going on. And also there are so many new things, like Anbennar itself, new setting, and then the idea set is completely new to me. This is the first time I'm looking at it. So who was that? That was Neckliffe with the That's me. I don't have any idea groups. Noble Academia. There's quite a few people choosing Noble Academia. I'm guessing the military tech cost is nice. Yearly army tradition, of course, is good. And then manpower. People are after the national manpower plus 20%. Does quantity still have that? Yeah, plus 30. Down from plus 50, which is a huge change. Yeah, quantity feels a lot more balanced now. And not just a must take, which is why I pretty much never took it. Noble Academia. Plutocratic. Reinforced cost minus 15%. Morale of armies plus 10. Unrest minus 2. Merchant. Goods produced plus 10. Governing capacity plus 10. Oh, governing capacity for republics. Interesting. Caravan power. Manpower recovery. And land leader maneuver. And then mercenary discipline. You know what? I like that too. And in fact, BPEC with plutocratic, with the extra morale and the mercenary discipline, that sounds like another dangerous combination. Oh, I'm liking that a lot. That's cool. Bjornrek's gone quantity. Acropon's gone exploration. Elizna's gone quantity. Duran's gone innovative. Innovative and another plutocratic. So what ideas have we missed? I mean, there's going to be a lot. I think I'm going to continue doing this, though. We're just going to highlight the idea groups as they get chosen. As we see something new, we'll go, what's this all about? And then we'll grab that as well. F for Lorent. Lorent is not looking too hot. Lorent's been under siege for quite a long time now. And I feel like Duran is going to be the one that comes out of this the best. Duran, of course, in my Gnomish game was also the one that kind of feasted on the corpse of Lorent. So, what are the Sons of Demaria doing at the moment? They are currently expanding into the small fellows. No! Oh no, sorry, no, they're not. Grasshoppers. New Wanderers. Interesting. But no, it's not the small fellows they're beating up on. It is the grasshoppers. Fair enough. Then Boskvu, which is Sariand. I think is pretty much just going to be in continuous war. Although Sarian does need to be careful of one thing, and that is they are elves. They have limited manpower. And their manpower has just hit 0. And they're again assisting Elizna. Elizna seems to be calling them into a lot of conflicts. And Sarian is actually answering those calls. But they quite strongly outnumber their opponents. So Elizna right now playing a pretty good diplomatic game, I think. Gnomish hierarchy has emerged. So it has. So Commander Faceless has now formed the Gnomish hierarchy, which of course will unlock the rest of the Gnomish mission tree. So usually it cuts off here, I think. No, I think it cuts off here. And now they have access to all of this as well, which is going to make them rather more expansionist and rather more aggressive. So I'm expecting to see a hierarchy Goward war at some point in the near future. I'm expecting to see them go after the Riveria. And then also... Oh, that's Yokand. That's not Port Nam. Someone ate Port Nam already. Well, we're definitely going to see them expanding down this side towards Duran. And it's going to be interesting what Rubenair thinks about this, because the more that the hierarchy moves down here, Rubenair, I'm sure, is going to start getting alarm bells, and BPEC is going to start getting alarm bells. Arboran probably less so, because there isn't as much cutover, depending on how much the hierarchy tries to expand into Goward. But the hierarchy really has a lot of their missions going for this region right here. And that is definitely going to cause some concern with BPEC in particular, because of the small country. There's going to be a pretty big conflict over the small country. Like, the small country's got to be one of the most conflict-prone regions in the game, because it's just so wanted by so many people. I think part of it is it's just really, really good territory, because it's just all farmland. Just very, very wealthy. And then the halflings, they just seem to get on with everyone, except those who want to conquer them, who then conquer them. I assume BPEC's going small country. I think they would like to, but whether the hierarchy is going to let them is another question. Like, who are they allied to at the moment? Goward, Neckcliff, and the Gnomish hierarchy. So BPEC and the Gnomes are currently allied. I do wonder how long that's going to last. I do see that BPEC Neckcliff alliance lasting. I don't think there's any real reason for those two to be at odds. And possibly even Rubenair. Although right now Rubenair is actually diplomatically isolated. No allies whatsoever. They have Wineport as a vassal and that's it. Oh, and Great Ordning, Lazian and Triton as minions.